I'm in Ahwatukee doing a sewer camera inspection. I'm gonna get started running the water right here, right above the main vent stack. There's no plumbing cleanouts, so we're gonna get some water running. We're gonna go up to the roof and drop that sewer camera down in that main plumbing cleanout. See what's going on. This house is about 60 years old. Looks like it's cast iron pipes up on the roof, so there's a good chance that it's cast iron pipe down in the system. It's 110 degrees today, about 50% humidity, which in Arizona is quite a bit, but because there's no cleanouts here in the front, we're just going to go ahead and jump up on our ladder and go over to the main plumbing cleanout on this side. But yeah, it's about 110 degrees out here today. We're going to do that sewer cam, like asphalt shingle is about as hot as can be, but this is your main plumbing stack. They're going to be wider than the regular ones. These just go down to the bathrooms, but this is going to be your main stack. So it's bigger, so it gives us more width to get that camera head down. So let's get to it. Sewer camera inspection at 450. Main plumbing cleanout up on the roof. Camera head down. I've got the water running in the hall bathroom right now. Looks like a cast iron vent stack. Drain going into the stack there. See the rusting and pitting on the side of this pipe. Typical for a pipe of this age, we're going to have a lot of corrosion as we get closer to the water. We're still in the vertical, so this is where the drain is connecting into the pipe right there. And you can see the water coming in from the shower right there in the bathroom. Now we're down in the vertical pipe. Cast iron pipes. You can see all the red, that's your rust and corrosion of the inside of the pipe breaking down over time. This is likely the original drain pipe to the house. So we're past this service life of this sewer lateral right here. You can tell just all the bumps, and you can see the camera head jumping up and down all the time. That's because the bottom of the pipe is really rough too. So anything that gets flushed down the pipe could stick on anything that is rough, and that would cause a clog. This is typical for a pipe of this age, but it's also past its service life. You can just imagine if you flush any type of solids or paper products or anything like that down this drain, what could possibly happen is things get clogged up or caught up on it. So 41 feet, we've got another connection there. That might be where the kitchen connects into it, but clay pipe here at 42 feet. This is usually the city connection, but we're going to go through it a little bit because I'm not sure if we're out in the street yet. The inside of clay pipe is actually pretty durable. It doesn't break down as much over time as some of the other materials that we use, like cast iron or Orangeburg. There's your city connection at 75 feet. So you've got some clay pipe, most of it's cast iron underneath the house, which is going to be probably the more expensive pipe to replace. That rust and corrosion is just going to get worse and worse over time. That pipe is eventually going to crack and break, but 75 feet out from the vent stack here, up on the roof to the city connection. Everything is flowing, just at some point in time you're going to want to replace this cast iron pipe, and it's my job to recommend you guys get an estimate for the replacement of this pipe, just so you know what it's going to cost if replacement becomes necessary. So there's your connection from cast iron into clay at 39 feet. This is probably somewhere in the yard, somewhere they can access that clay pipe. I don't see any cleanouts on the property either, and it's a good idea to have cleanouts installed so you can get easier access to these areas. Going down through the roof vent is not, you know, the way we do it nowadays. We have cleanouts on the front of the house, so we recommend that you install some so they don't have to drag the camera up on the roof. If you have any questions about this sewer camera inspection, please get a hold of me, Home Inspector Dan with EPG Inspections. Like I said, this cast iron doesn't get any better with age. It always gets worse, and the more rough the edges are, the more problems you're going to have down the road. But it is flowing and functional. Thanks for using BPG Inspections. Congratulations on your new home, and yeah, just give me a call if you have any questions. Well, it's 110 degrees outside today. That roof is 160, 150, 160, somewhere around there. 170, black asphalt roof. Let's see what the attic's like. Now I'm expecting it to be super hot because we have little ventilation up in the attic. We've got a couple gable vents on a couple sides, no soffit ventilation. We've got a stucco soffit here. So those gable vents are the only way that your attic is breathing. So I'm guessing your attic is gonna be toasty. Just the attic hatch is 108 degrees. Oofta. Yeah, it's warm up here. Pitch dark because there's no vents, no ventilation. It is so hot up here. 150 on the underside of the roof. 140, 120. Let's see what the sheathing's coming in at. 160, 165, 163. That is super toasty, right? Let's take a look around. Oh, there's your bathroom vent going right into the attic. This is really, really dark wood, usually an indicator of moisture. Sometimes you can get some of that sap coming out of the wood. Got the AC ductwork over here. Or missing ventilation, or I mean missing insulation in several areas. You can see the cold coming through where it could be a little bit heavier. I can see it on the inside of the house too, where the heat is coming through. Yeah, we've got a plywood sheathing, regular truss roof. Oh shoot, we need to get back in there because that doesn't look good right there. So something else I run into is Romex or non-metallic sheathed cable type NM run right into attic hatches. Now it's usually just a simple call out for me, just move it away from the attic hatch, but look, we're already breaking that wire right there. That wire is pushed up right against that metal piece. That's got to get out of there. That was a stupid idea. Well, those are both your bathroom vents. They need to go outside. So not only do you have maybe 2 gable vents in this whole attic, and that's the only ventilation, no ridge vents, no soffit vents, but now you're dumping moisture up here. And now I'm going to get concerned. That's where we're missing some insulation down there, about termites. This is what happens when you don't get your dryer vent outside. Look at that. The dryer vent doesn't even penetrate the roof surface. All this lint is building up in your attic. It's only about 160 degrees up here today, so it wouldn't take too much to start that on fire. Get it all up in there too. So we've got some serious moisture problems at this house. Not only do we have this, but we have bathroom vents on the other side dumping moisture up here. And we have hardly any ventilation in this house, or in this attic. Very limited. It's old dark wood. It's kind of indicating excessive moisture, excessive heat. At least I see this when I go into older homes with really bad ventilation up in the attic. You get some of that dark spots. It's your mold, your excessive moisture, rotting wood. We got lint all the way over here above the garage. So this is kind of funny. He's got an evaporative cooler in the garage only, so that goes all the way back to an evap cooler on the back side of the house there. But it supplies the garage here, just in that little vent right there. So it's going to distribute humid air in the garage when you want it to in the dry summer. So a couple of recommendations for today would be ridge ventilation in the attic, which is just a channel cut into the very top of the attic, which lets all the hot air that gets up to the top of the attic out. Another recommendation is to get an estimate from a plumber to replace that entire drain line. Both the cast iron and the clay pipe have to go at some point. I'm not saying have the seller replace it, but get an estimate, take that invoice or the estimate and give it to the seller and say, this is how much we want off. You know, and then go find your own plumber or find the guy that gave you the estimate, whatever you want to do. But that's it. It was a pretty cool house. Just ventilation in old houses was never that good. And that's one of the big things you should be looking at in a house built in the 50s, 60s, 70s is ventilation, because humidity makes your energy bills higher, brings in termites, and ventilation is a very good thing to have in your attic. You don't want to have a sealed in attic unless it's designed that way. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.